just yesterday, Haman proceeds to do Judah by 8 years. Freedom, 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 freedom. Over time, and as the years have rolled by, it is pretty obvious that the Ghanaian mindset has been built just around freedom, not justice. Now, that is where we are failing. Any attempt to add justice to it, then the citizenry begin to agitate because we have breathed more life into freedom and we have been left justice alone. But the two must, ought, should work in tandem for us to be able to feel the full value, the essence, and the spirit that is supposed to drive us as a people. And any attempt to correct the wrong, then the persons who mean well now become the villains. In 1994, the genocide in Rwanda, I got personally associated with that genocide, not only as a human being living at the time, but because my father, General Henry Kwame Anyido, was an active participant in Rwanda. The Deputy Force Commander of the United Nations Assistance Mission in Rwanda, a certain mindset created that genocide, that mayhem, that unfortunate situation, which would forever remain part of the history of humankind. Today, go back to the same Rwanda mindset. Welcome to episode 4, Mindset Transformation, God Presence in Nation Building, the Coalition of Nation Builders, the Mills Institute for Transformational Leadership Development, MILLS, M for mindset, I for integrity, the first L for loyalty, the second L for leadership, and the S for service. It's all about the mindset. If we don't change the mindset, it's going to be impossible to be able to do anything outside the usual. So you need to build a certain mindset, build integrity into the mindset, be loyal to the integrity so the mindset can stand on strong, solid foundation. Then you now move to the level of leadership. Because leadership is all about loyalty. Leadership is all about integrity. Leadership is all about a focused mindset. Then you understand that it is your duty to serve. Serve God, serve country. Self is last. But it's obvious, pretty obvious, that service leadership is more about self. It's more about self, country, God. Hence, this conversation that we are having. Because that's the only way. It's the mindset that has to change. And the change doesn't have to come from outside. It's European. We already have the tools at independence. These things were created by the founding fathers, Kwame Nkrumah and co. What they sought to do with our national symbols. In episode 3, we spent quite detailed time discussing the words of the anthem and the pledge, and how if we shape a civic education national agenda around the words, we can begin to empower ourselves and commit ourselves to a unique and focused driven nation-building plan. Even wrapping it around curriculum. It happens elsewhere. It can be done and must be done. Today we're looking at the coat of arms, just the motto that holds the coat of arms. In episode 5, we will look at the coat of arms actually in detail and do a comparative analysis of Ghana's coat of arms, the Nigerian coat of arms, and the US coat of arms, which will now allow us to see what the coat of arms actually must mean. Because as it is, it doesn't mean anything to us. And these are the things that are failing us. Because we as a people have not deliberately allowed these state symbols and national symbols to drive the kind of mindset that we really need. So today, we are looking at freedom and justice. I have said much earlier that Kwame Nkrumah Osagyefo, first Prime Minister, President at independence, a trained theologian from Lincoln University in the United States. Freedom and justice, which is akin to righteousness and justice, the foundation of God's throne. You and I were not there. Many of us were not there, but I'm sure the elderly folk who are watching who were there will remember. Freedom! 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 We never heard justice! 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 It was just the freedom! 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 Over time, and as the years have rolled by, it is pretty obvious that the Ghanaian mindset has been built just around freedom, not justice. Now, that is where we are failing. That is where we are unable to reach the next level, because everything is freedom, 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 free, free, free. Any attempt to add justice to it, then the citizenry begin to agitate, because we have breathed more life into freedom and we have left justice alone. But the two must, ought, should walk in tandem for us to be able to feel the full value, the essence, and the spirit that is supposed to drive us as a people. Now, this is a book. This is my book, Uncompromising Thoughts, Leaving Out National Issues. I launched it on the 24th of July, 2024. And those of you who know 24th July and what it means to me. And so, yes, I launched it to the glory of God. And this is a chapter in the book that I captioned, Freedom Has Enslaved Ghana's Mindset. Brothers and sisters, I should just tell you that what is driving this conversation is not happenstance. It's a calling. It's something that God has purposed for some of us to do. And I do it to the glory of God and country. I do it to the glory of God and country, in service to God and country, because it ought to be done, must be done, for destiny and purpose to be fulfilled. Now let me just read portions of it. So I quote myself. Does it sound weird that freedom can turn into a heavier burden than servitude? You probably cannot fathom how anyone would ever dare imagine that freedom could be more difficult to manage than servitude. Well, the truth of the matter is that no matter how weird or absurd it sounds, freedom is much difficult to manage than servitude. Why? Because when you have the freedom to do anything you want to do, you can be spoiled for choice and end up making the wrong choices, which then ends up making you a slave to your freedom. On the other hand, when you're in servitude, you have virtually no choice. The choices are made for you, and so you do not have to suffer the burden of having to bother to use your brains to think for yourself. In other words, the mindset, the mindset, when set free, can refuse to exert itself in the right and proper direction. The mindset, when set free, can refuse to exert itself in the right and proper direction. We live in a country and we say freedom. And so we wait in that freedom. When it is raining, that's when people decide out of freedom or free will to throw their rubbish into the gutter. And so the person who wants to apply justice and says, hey, why are you doing that? People now gang up against that person and say, why? Is it your business? Is it your concern? So then the gutters get chopped. The rains come. And we sit in this country, and every year, when the water comes and the rain comes, see what happens to us. Freedom. In the same freedom, you go to the bus terminal or the trotro station. The bus driver, so the vehicle is stationary. The conductor, local parlance, we call them the mates. The mate is loading. The driver is sitting in the beer bar, Akweteshi bar. Everybody or people around know that this driver is going to drive this car, but he's there. The alcohol vendor is selling to that driver. It's freedom. Is that not it? Freedom to drink, freedom to do anything. Then the bus gets full. Then the conductor, the mate comes. Master, let's go. Then he tells the alcohol vendor, look, I'm going. The alcohol vendor says, oh, for the road. Are you getting what is happening? Are you following the conversation? Freedom. He gets behind the steering wheel, and obviously, he's intoxicated. Somebody sitting next to him can feel that he is intoxicated. Begins to question other passengers in the vehicle. Pounds on the one who's questioning because they say they are in a hurry to get to their next destination. So the person should shut up. All we hear, breaking news. X number of people have lost their lives on the road. Are you getting the extent to which we have allowed freedom without justice to eat into the whole fiber of society? Oh, Efenoko. Oh, Jaino. Oh, Mawananako. Oh, Kwebene Bilini. Oh, Nyashira. Ashile. Oh, Mundaino. Oh, Mudashionko. Anybody who wants to walk on the path of righteousness and justice is now seen as a bad person. So we have done the wrong things for so long that we think that those wrong things are now the right things. And any attempt to correct the wrong, then the persons who mean well now become the villains, because we have allowed the freedom to entrench the wrong things. And so you want to now reverse that freedom and apply justice, then you become a bad person. And then we got into this cycle of looking for votes. And so because we're looking for votes, we can't take the tough decisions, because the people will threaten. At the next cycle, we won't vote for you. You see where we have allowed freedom to put us. So in my book, when I say that freedom has rather enslaved Ghana's mindset, I'm sure you're now beginning to get that picture. This same mindset, in 1994, the genocide in Rwanda, I got personally associated with that genocide, not only as a human being living at the time, but because my father, General Henry Kwame Anyido, was an active participant in Rwanda. The Deputy Force Commander of the United Nations Assistance Mission in Rwanda, and also the head of the Ghanaian contingent. This is his book, Guns Over Kigali, his personal lived account of what happened in Rwanda. So I lived through those moments as a son whose father was at the forefront of a raging genocide. That was 1994. A certain mindset created that genocide, that mayhem, that unfortunate situation, which will forever remain part of the history of humankind. Today, go back to the same Rwanda mindset. They have changed their mindset. They have moved away from the dark days. Today, go and look at Kigali. Go and look at Rwanda. Because what? They are applying justice. They are allowing laws to work without fear or favor. People of Ghana, 70 years down the line, when Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, the big six at the old polo grounds, dropping the British flag, the Union Jack, flying high the flag of Ghana. Is this what they ambitioned for Mother Ghana? Is it it? Is this what they wished for the motherland? Certainly. You and I know that there is a better way of building this Ghana. But we are afraid. We are hesitant. We are reluctant. Or we just don't want to take the bold decision, the bold initiative to build the motherland. But you know, we've gotten to a point that whether you and I like it or not, we are going to do the will of God for the destiny of the Republic of Ghana. I repeat, whether we like it or not, we are going to have to, because we cannot continue this way. Ce n'est pas possible. We can't continue doing things the same old way, because then we will get the same checkered results that we are getting after all. So We, you and I, collectively. In episode 1, those of you who have been following, the mindset of the honeybee and the mindset of the housefly. The honeybee leaves the hive, goes in search of nectar for honey. The housefly goes out in search of what? Pus coming from womb, in search of filth, in search of death, in search of carcass, and brings disease home. You want the mindset of the honeybee, so do I. And so together, we are going to apply justice to freedom. We will get there. Heaven knows we will get there. Ghana shall not die. Ghana shall not die. Ghana shall not die. We are going to build this country. And for as long as we stay committed to retooling our mindset foundation building, God certainly will bless us so that within the freedom and the justice, righteousness shall be the path on which we will walk on to the next level of Ghana's development. Thank you for watching. Join again in episode 5. The journey is going. Beautiful journey. Watch, like, share, comment. We are piling your comments. My colleague Susan Isiama the Queen will be joining us subsequently. And then we'll begin to enjoy it. But hey, it's wonderful having you. Allow us into your spaces to get we build. Ciao.